The cold, unforgiving landscape of the distant moon stretched out like a dead canvas of gray and black. Erin's breath came in shallow, ragged gasps, her alien body broken and bleeding against the jagged, rocky terrain. The meteorite storm had been merciless, transforming the peaceful research expedition into a nightmare of destruction and abandonment. Just hours earlier, Erin had been part of a promising scientific team exploring the outer regions of the Orion cluster. Young, ambitious, and filled with curiosity, she had been the most junior member of the research group. Her excitement about discovering new planetary data had been infectious, her eyes bright with the wonder of exploration. When the first meteorites began to strike, chaos erupted. Massive rock fragments crashed around them, turning their carefully planned expedition into a desperate fight for survival. The team's lead researcher, a cold and calculated individual, made a swift decision that would change Erin's life forever. With ruthless efficiency, he ordered an immediate evacuation, leaving behind those who couldn't keep up. Erin had been injured early in the meteorite storm. A massive rock fragment had struck her research vehicle, sending her tumbling across the moon's harsh surface. Her left arm was broken, her environmental suit torn and leaking precious oxygen. Blood trickled from multiple wounds, creating a dark trail against the moon's gray landscape. Her teammates didn't even look back. The primary shuttle lifted off, its engines burning bright against the dark sky, leaving behind the wounded young researcher. They calculated her survival chances at less than 3% and deemed her an acceptable loss. In the cold mathematics of space exploration, individual lives were often reduced to statistical probabilities. As darkness began to fall, Erin's consciousness started to drift. The pain was intense, but gradually becoming distant. Her body was shutting down, a survival mechanism designed to preserve energy in extreme conditions. She could see the stars above, bright pinpricks of light that seemed to mock her current situation. The temperature was dropping rapidly. Her alien physiology, designed for moderate planetary conditions, was struggling against the moon's extreme environment. Frost began to form on her torn environmental suit, each passing moment bringing her closer to certain death. In her semi-conscious state, Erin remembered her dreams of exploration. She had always wanted to discover something meaningful, to contribute to scientific knowledge. Now those dreams were freezing away with her life, forgotten on this desolate moon that would become her tomb. Her communication device was damaged, its emergency beacon barely functional. The faint electronic pulse it emitted was weak, barely, traveling a few hundred meters in the moon's thin atmosphere. To any passing ship or research team, it would sound like nothing more than background radiation. Hours passed. The moon's landscape remained unchanged, a silent witness to Erin's potential final moments. Her breathing became more shallow, each breath a struggle against the increasing cold in her failing body. Just when it seemed that all hope was lost, a faint light began to appear on the distant horizon. But Erin was too weak to notice, her consciousness fading in and out. The light grew brighter, cutting through the darkness like a knife, moving closer with unexpected precision. Something was approaching. But would it arrive in time? The story of Erin's survival hung in a delicate balance, suspended between certain death and a possibility of rescue that seemed more like a distant dream than a reality. As the unknown light drew nearer, the moon's silent landscape held its breath, waiting to reveal what would happen next. Would Erin become another forgotten statistic in the vast, unforgiving universe? Or was something extraordinary about to unfold? Her fate remained uncertain, balanced on the knife's edge between life and death, hope and despair. The horizon cut through the darkness of space like a silver arrow, its advanced scanning systems humming with quiet intensity. Captain Jiwon Park stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the holographic display that showed the faint biological signal detected moments earlier. "Zoom in," he commanded, his voice calm but charged with a hint of curiosity. The ship's primary navigation officer, Yuna Kwan, manipulated the controls with practiced precision. The signal was weak, barely registering on their most sensitive equipment. Seok-ho Kim, the chief medical researcher, approached the display. His fingers traced the irregular pattern of the life sign. "It's unusual," he muttered. Definitely not a standard human or known alien biochemical signature. The bridge crew watched in silence. Space exploration was filled with unexpected moments, but something about this signal felt different. It wasn't just a random reading. It was a deliberate cry for help, however faint. "Prepare rescue protocols," Captain Park ordered. Most captains would have ignored such a weak signal, but Ji-Wan had a reputation for unconventional decisions. His previous missions had proven that sometimes the most important discoveries came from the most unexpected sources. Yuna's fingers flew across the control panel. The horizon began its careful approach, adjusting trajectory with millimeter precision. The moon's surface came into view, a desolate landscape of gray and black marked by recent meteorite impacts. Sok-Ho began preparing the medical bay. Years of xenobiological training had taught him to expect the unexpected. Special containment units were activated, medical scanning equipment calibrated for unknown life forms. He knew they might be approaching anything from a critically injured explorer to a completely unknown species. The rescue shuttle prepared for deployment. Unlike typical rescue missions, this one carried an array of specialized equipment. Adaptive environmental suits, multi-spectrum medical scanners, and emergency life support systems were carefully checked and double-checked. As they descended, the first visual confirmation came through. A broken figure lay against the moon's rocky surface, clearly alive but barely. The medical team exchanged quick glances. This would be a challenging rescue. The shuttle's landing was smooth, almost gentle. 4 rescue team members moved with practiced efficiency. Their suits protected them from the moon's harsh environment, advanced sensors scanning every inch of the surrounding area. "Life sign confirmed," the lead rescue officer reported. "Single organism, critically injured, appears to be non-human." Sok-Ho's voice came through their communication system. "Approach with caution. Maintain full protective protocols. We don't know what we're dealing with." The rescue team approached the broken figure. Arin looked small and fragile against the vast lunar landscape. Her alien physiology was unlike anything they had encountered before, a complex system of biological mechanisms that seemed to be fighting against complete system failure. "Preparing emergency extraction," the lead rescue officer reported. Special containment fields were activated, creating a protective bubble around Arin's body. Every movement was calculated, designed to minimize additional trauma. Captain Park watched the operation from the ship's bridge. Something about this rescue felt different. It wasn't just a standard mission, it was something more. A feeling of destiny hung in the air, thick and almost tangible. The rescue team worked quickly. Specialized medical drones began initial stabilization procedures. Complex medical algorithms calculated the best approach for treating an entirely unknown biological system. "We're bringing her in," the lead rescue officer announced. The shuttle's engines hummed to life, lifting carefully off the moon's surface. Sok-Ho prepared the medical bay for an extraordinary patient. Multiple systems were ready, each designed to adapt to the most unexpected medical challenges. This was more than a rescue. This was a potential first contact. As the shuttle approached the horizon, everyone held their breath. Nobody knew what would happen next. Would the unknown patient survive? What secrets might this unexpected rescue reveal? The universe, vast and mysterious, seemed to pause for a moment. Something extraordinary was about to unfold. The medical bay of the horizon pulsed with soft blue light, its advanced systems working tirelessly to keep Arin alive. Sok-Ho Kim stood beside her specialized medical chamber, his eyes tracking the complex holographic displays that monitored her vital signs. Arin's body was a mystery. Her alien physiology defied their initial medical understanding. Traditional, human medical protocols meant nothing here. Every minute was a careful dance of scientific discovery and life-saving intervention. Days passed slowly. The medical team worked in shifts, each member bringing unique expertise to solve the puzzle of Arin's survival. Her body showed remarkable resilience, healing in ways that seemed almost impossible. Cellular regeneration occurred at speeds that would be miraculous for any known species. On the 7th day, Something changed. A slight movement. A subtle shift. In her breathing pattern. Sayako noticed it first. A tiny electromagnetic pulse from her neural systems that suggested approaching consciousness. Erin's eyes opened slowly. They were different from human eyes. Multiple irises that shifted and changed color with each passing moment. She was confused, disoriented, her alien brain trying to process an entirely new environment. The first moments of communication were challenging. No known translation system could immediately bridge the gap between her language and human speech. Sayako initiated a complex quantum communication matrix, a technological marvel designed to break down linguistic barriers. "Can you understand me?" he asked, his voice calm and measured. Erin's response was not verbal. Instead, a series of electromagnetic pulses emerged from her body, creating intricate patterns on the medical bay's communication screens. It was a language, complex, beautiful, entirely alien. Captain Ji-won Park watched from a nearby observation room. This was more than a medical rescue. This was potentially the most significant first contact in human exploration history. The medical team worked tirelessly to understand Erin's communication method. Each pulse, each electromagnetic wave carried meaning. Slowly, they began to piece together her story. She was a researcher, part of an expedition that had abandoned her during a catastrophic meteorite storm. Erin's body continued to heal at an extraordinary rate. The medical chamber adapted, changing its environmental settings to match her specific biological needs. Specialized nutrient solutions were developed, tailored to her unique metabolic requirements. As days turned into weeks, communication became more sophisticated. Erin learned to use rudimentary translation devices. Her understanding of human language grew rapidly, her alien brain demonstrating an incredible capacity for adaptation. She began to share details about her original mission. Scientific data that had been lost now found new life through her communication. Star charts, planetary analysis, complex scientific observations, all became available to the human research team. The crew of the Horizon watched in amazement. What had started as a simple rescue mission was transforming into something much larger. Erin was not just a patient. She was becoming a bridge between two entirely different civilizations. Sayako discovered something remarkable about Erin's species. Their communication was not just verbal or electromagnetic. It was a complex system that integrated emotional and scientific information simultaneously. Each pulse carried multiple layers of meaning. "She's trying to tell us something important," Sayako told Captain Park one evening. "Something about her original mission that goes beyond simple scientific exploration." The medical bay continued to buzz with activity. Specialized research teams worked around the clock, each breakthrough bringing new understanding. Erin's presence had transformed the Horizon from a standard research vessel into something extraordinary. As her strength returned, so did her spirit of exploration. The humans could see it in her eyes, that same curiosity that had driven her original mission. She was not just recovering, she was preparing for something bigger. Questions hung in the air. What was the true purpose of her original expedition? Why had her team abandoned her? And most importantly, what would happen next? The Horizon moved silently through space, carrying its extraordinary passenger. Something significant was coming. Everyone could feel it. The strategic planning room of the Horizon felt different today. Erin sat at the center of the large circular table, her alien form now fully recovered. Surrounded by the ship's top researchers and leadership team, Captain Ji-won Park watched her carefully, sensing something significant was about to unfold. "My original mission was not what you might think," Erin began, her translated words carrying a weight of serious importance. The holographic display in front of her began to show complex star charts and scientific data that no human had ever seen before. The research revealed a critical threat. Multiple star systems were facing a potential catastrophic event, a cascading energy disruption that could destroy entire planetary systems. Her original team had discovered this information but chose to suppress it, believing the cost of intervention was too high. Seok-ho Kim leaned forward. His scientific curiosity piqued. The data showed intricate patterns of energy disruption that could potentially affect hundreds of populated worlds. It was more than a scientific discovery. It was a potential galactic emergency. "Why didn't your original team report this?" Captain Park asked, his voice steady but intense. Erin's response was complicated. Her species operated under a strict protocol of non-intervention. They believed in observing but never directly changing cosmic events. Her team had chosen to document the potential disaster without taking action. The human researchers were shocked. Their entire approach to scientific exploration was fundamentally different. Where Erin's species saw observation as the ultimate goal, humans saw an opportunity and an obligation to prevent potential destruction. As the details emerged, the complexity of the mission became clear. The energy disruption was not just a random cosmic event. It was triggered by a series of interconnected technological failures across multiple star systems. Each failure was small, but together they created a potentially catastrophic chain reaction. The Horizons research team began working immediately. They combined Erin's detailed scientific observations with human technological innovation. Complex computer models were developed, potential intervention strategies mapped out. "We can help," Captain Park stated firmly. It wasn't a question or a suggestion. It was a declaration of human intention. Erin was surprised. Her entire understanding of cosmic exploration was being challenged. The humans weren't just listening to her information, they were preparing to act on it. Their approach was dynamic, bold, almost reckless by her species' standards. The next 48 hours became a whirlwind of scientific activity. The ship's systems were pushed to their absolute limits. Navigation computers calculated complex intervention routes. Medical and engineering teams developed innovative technological solutions. What had started as a simple rescue mission was now a potential galaxy-saving operation. Erin watched in amazement as the human crew worked with a combination of scientific precision and emotional commitment she had never witnessed before. Her original team would have created detailed reports and done nothing. These humans were preparing to physically intervene, to change the course of potential cosmic destruction. The star charts began to change. Subtle technological adjustments, carefully calculated interventions, began to shift the potential energy disruption. It was like watching a complex medical procedure performed on an entire star system. "We're creating a technological buffer," one of the engineers explained. "Small changes that will prevent the larger catastrophic event." Erin realized something profound in that moment. Humans saw the universe differently. Where her species saw boundaries, humans saw opportunities. Where others observed, humans acted. The mission was no longer just about scientific discovery. It had become something more, a testament to human determination, technological innovation, and an unwavering commitment to preservation of life. As the final calculations were completed, a sense of anticipation filled the horizon. They were about to attempt something that had never been done before. A coordinated technological intervention across multiple star systems. Captain Park looked at Erin. No words were needed. They both understood that something extraordinary was about to happen. The interstellar diplomatic conference hall buzzed with tension. Representatives from hundreds of different species gathered, their eyes fixed on Erin and the human delegation from the horizon. This was more than a standard meeting. It was a moment that would change galactic relationships forever. Captain Jiwon Park stood beside Erin, their presence telling a story more powerful than any spoken words. She was no longer just a rescued alien. She was now a symbol of something much larger. A bridge between species, a living example of what cooperation could achieve. The holographic display behind them showed the star systems they had saved. Complex energy patterns demonstrated how their intervention had prevented a potential cosmic catastrophe. Where destruction was imminent, they had brought stability. "We did not just save star systems," Erin spoke, her translated words clear and strong. "We demonstrated that different species can work together in ways nobody expected." Her story spread quickly. A young researcher left for dead, rescued by humans, who then went on to help prevent a massive cosmic disaster. It was the kind of narrative that could transform galactic perceptions. The diplomatic representatives listened in stunned silence. The humans had not just performed a rescue, they had fundamentally challenged existing ideas about interstellar cooperation. Their approach was different from anything these species had seen before. Seok-ho Kim presented the technical details. Each slide showed how human innovation, combined with Aaron's scientific knowledge, had created a unique intervention strategy. It wasn't just about saving systems, it was about understanding them. News networks across multiple planetary systems began broadcasting the story. The image of Aaron and Captain Park standing together became an instant symbol of hope. A small moment of rescue had transformed into a galaxy-changing event. Scientific institutions requested more information. Research teams wanted to understand how they had achieved such a complex intervention. The Horizons crew became instant celebrities in the scientific community. Aaron's original species was forced to acknowledge her actions. The team that had abandoned her now faced significant professional consequences. Their protocol of non-intervention was being publicly questioned. The human approach was fundamentally different. Where others saw boundaries, they saw possibilities. Where some species observed, humans were willing to act. This rescue was more than a mission. It was a statement about the potential of collaborative exploration. During the conference, Aaron was officially granted an honorary position as a cross-species research ambassador. She would work directly with human research teams, bridging knowledge and understanding between different civilizations. Captain Park watched her with a sense of pride. What had begun as a routine scanning mission had transformed into something extraordinary. A simple rescue had become a moment that would be remembered in galactic history. The diplomatic hall represented more than just a meeting space. It was a symbol of potential, a place where different species could come together, share knowledge, and create something greater than themselves. Aaron's journey was complete. From being left for dead on a distant moon to standing as a representative of hope and cooperation, her story was a testament to the unexpected paths of exploration. The representatives began discussing new collaborative research protocols. The successful intervention had shown that traditional barriers between species could be overcome. Scientific knowledge could be shared, differences could be bridged. As the conference continued, holographic displays showed the saved star systems. Each point of light represented lives protected, civilizations preserved, and at the center of it all was a simple story of rescue and cooperation. Captain Park approached Aaron, a subtle smile on his face. "Ready for the next mission?" he asked. Aaron's multiple-colored eyes shifted, reflecting a mixture of excitement and determination. "Always," she responded. The universe, vast and mysterious, had just witnessed something remarkable. A small rescue had become a moment of transformation. Boundaries had been crossed, understanding had been expanded, and in the background the stars continued their ancient dance, watching, waiting, full of endless possibilities.